Hi guys, my name is Aslı, also known as Azzy. I'm a global student, I'm from Turkey, and I'm going to be talking about identity.
So you're the only global from Turkey. Can you tell us what it was like growing up there?
Hi. Well, the upbringing I've had is, I think, quite different than what a lot of Turkish people would have had. My parents couldn't really get me into any other private school, and my parents, who didn't want to wait for the next year, instead tried to look for alternative schools. So they're like, oh, there's this small British school within Embassy grounds. They're actually interviewing. Why don't we put her there? Let's see what she can do. I had like 2 weeks of English lessons, went into the interview, and I got in for some strange reason. So I grew up around a lot of people from different cultures. One of my closest friends was from South Africa, the other was from France, the other was English, the other was Italian, whatever. It was quite different. It changed who I am, I think.
So why private school instead of public school?
People tend to move towards private school because there is a greater amount of liberalism there. You can ask more questions in class, you get more opportunities. Another big difference between public and private schooling in Turkey is that public schooling especially is quite conservative with how they teach. They will teach you to have one textbook that the government will produce, and you will basically memorize all the facts there. Don't question it, there are no alternative views. It's very single-minded.
What made you decide to come to the UK? What inspired that decision?
I think from the earliest days of primary school, I felt very close to British culture as an educational culture because that was the first school I'd ever known. So I kind of always knew I wanted to come here. I kind of wanted to go back to what I knew made me happy, and it was a familiar place for me, despite not having actually lived in the UK.
So when someone asks you the question, where are you from? What do you usually say?
There are a lot of, different people that come here from Turkey, and a lot of them might have just come here for 1 year for their master's degree. They might not have encountered this culture or this language or the people that live here any time previously. But I feel the need to explain to people that, yes, this is my 4th year here actually. I went to university here. It's kind of weird. It's not really being an apologist, but at the same time you feel the need to contextualize a little bit. I'm not just Turkish. I'm a lot of different things too in my mind.
So it seems like you're a little bit different. So have you made any Turkish friends, any general observations about Turkish people here in England?
A lot of Turks that come to London to study are here for their masters, they're here for 1 year, so they don't really make any attempts to integrate. And obviously this is a generalization. I find that they're not really that interested in learning more about English culture or learning more about different cultures within London. And I think that that's kind of why I gravitated away from it. I feel like they see it more like I'm here for 1 year and I'm leaving, whereas I feel like I want to be as much a part of the fabric of this city and this university as I can. It's not a gaping hole I feel in my life if I'm not around Turkish people to kind of reinforce my own Turkish identity.
So what is something that people assume about Turkish people that you hate or is totally untrue?
Even small things like I will come here in the winter and they'll be like, oh, it must be so great to go home over Christmas, it'll be so warm. And I'm like, no, actually it's like minus 15 degrees at home right now, I'm freezing. And they'll be like, what? Turkey can get cold? And I'm like, yeah, it can get cold. So I wouldn't say I hate it, but I try to, in a way, rectify people's knowledge of that part of Turkey as much as I can to show that it's not just like a really balmy, deserty country.
What is one thing that you wish everyone knew about people from Turkey?
The way the political situation is in Turkey at the moment, it tends to reflect a very singular image of Turkey. People tend to assume that Turkey is suddenly much more conservative, dark country than I knew it growing up. I just wish people would know Turkey as I knew Turkey, which is there are beaches, there are nightclubs, there are also mosques, there are ski resorts, there are small villages and huge cities and art movements, and it's a very diverse country. There's a huge spectrum of people and experiences in Turkey. It's a big country, and I wish people could see it more of what it is.
So what are some things that you did take with you from Turkey? Things that you miss or things that you've incorporated into your life here in the UK?
Food is a big thing for me. My mom made me a PowerPoint of like all the different recipes that would remind me of home. And whenever I feel particularly like I want to be in my comfort zone, I open that PowerPoint and I make myself something from home. And that makes me feel good.
So what does it mean for you to be a global student?
It's the ability to make people from very different cultures your family, or the closest people you have. Like that to me is being a global person. It's to feel like you can make yourself a home in a completely different part of the world, and to still be completely comfortable, and to make that your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Really.
That's really amazing, and I think that's a great thing for everyone to think about, us and everyone else in the media and everyone else in LC. Thank you for coming with us.
Thank you so much.